Welcome back to Oak Road Diaries, part 2 of our conversation with Rick Diamond. If you joined us for the first part, you already know that we've been exploring what it means to live with intention, purpose, and connection. Now in this next chapter, we dive even deeper, uncovering the practices, stories, and insights that guide Rick's approach to meaningful living.
In this segment, we explore the moments that challenge us, the lessons that shape us, and the ways Rick's work encourages us to stay grounded while navigating life's complexity. From personal growth strategies to community-centered perspectives, this conversation invites reflection, practical takeaways, and inspiration for how to live more aligned and present in each moment.
So take a breath, settle in, and let's continue this journey with Rick Diamond, exploring the heart of intentional living, the power of perspective, and the subtle ways we can reconnect with what truly matters.
Hey, beautiful, gorgeous, eternal soul having a human experience filled with adventure and excitement and pain and joy. This is Rick the Story Healer. Congratulations. I promise, it depends where you look. That will tell you how you're doing. Watch for your brilliance. Watch for your beauty. It's everywhere. So here's to letting it all go.
And so I taught college English in East Texas for 10 years. Very conservative, very old school community college.
Yep.
Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely adored it. I taught in
Such a great
4
period.
men's
Seemed like you'd be a fun
prisons.
teacher to watch in English, man, because English got to be, I've got to be honest, I slept in a lot of grammar and a lot of English classes.
Everybody hates
You were
it.
literature, though? That was your
Everybody hates
focus?
it. I was all of it. I did grammar. I did intro to lit. I did world masterpieces, American masterpieces.
I could see it
created
being
a
fun,
creative
though.
writing program. It was a blast. I adored it. I absolutely adored it. And was in my first marriage. And, the thing where according to the script, you go to college and then you get married and then you have children and then you get a job and then you da-da-da-da. Man, I was in it. Because remember, my strategy as a little kid was to survive. I'm going to be a good boy.
Yeah.
Right.
And the script
So
would
tell me
help
the
you
script.
survive, right? Exactly.
For sure.
And
But
the script was
that's-
opposite from what you grew up on, it seems. So you're like, all right, this is the track I'm gonna fix this.
That's
I'm
a great
going to be better.
observation.
I'm going to be better, right?
I'm not going to make the same mistakes they made. I'm going to do
Yeah.
better than they did. I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Danger, Will Robinson. Like, that's not I'm whatever came before. I'm not going to do that.
Sam doesn't
Like,
know where that's from.
That's so old. It's the 60s. If
Oh,
you
so
said
good.
anybody who is saying, I will never do that, like, the phrase, what you resist persists.
Yeah.
Like, I will never do that.
Yeah.
You're going to do it. Like, that's coming. It's on its way. Just look for it. It will surprise you.
On a personal note, I said I would never go to Disney, and we are planning to go. And
I'm happy for you. I'm excited.
Of course, superficially it's fun, but it's the opposite of everything
would
about me.
never
I
say
hate
that.
crowds. Dude,
I so wanna
I want to go. The child in me wants to go. The adult in
Yes.
me,
Hell,
oh, no,
young
because-
kids? No, thank you.
No, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
but-
Like, if my wife and I can go on our own, yeah, we can deal with it.
Well,
But
I'm
it's one of
saying
those
really
things-
young kids, like your kids.
Yeah, they are young.
less than a year old young. Like, no, thank you.
Oh my gosh. But you get to go to the Star Wars land. I mean, I'm just
That's
saying.
cool.
Just- I
Harry
mean,
Potter,
come
though,
on.
you got to go to Islands of Adventure, Harry Potter,
They're
Hogwarts.
much,
Come
man.
on.
I got a 10-year-old, I got a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. That's, I don't know what they're gonna do, but the
You know
10-year-old's gonna be more aware of things. So
As we say in the South, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you.
I need all
for
the
you.
prayer, man.
I'm gonna pray for you.
I need patience. I need some serenity.
So anyway,
Well,
Danger Will Robinson, getting back to that. So you're following the script.
I was following the script. I was teaching an extra class to make extra money. We had 2 kids. I'm doing all the things, and I'm volunteering at the school, and I'm being so good. And it looked fine. And I was getting really mad.
Mm.
Like, I was not happy.
Yeah, I'm doing
And
it.
but that didn't make any sense.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, in here, I was really off. So I just doubled down on being more good.
Mhm.
Like, I won a teaching award. I had a endowed chair for teaching excellence. They named a teaching chair after me. I was the star volunteer at the school, and I was chewing tobacco and eating and not sleeping and angry and exhausted. And so it was really hard. Do you know what I mean? Because I couldn't connect these parts of myself or resolve these parts of myself. And then, just to make it more fun, the spirit of the universe starts throwing in spiritual awakenings into the mix, which is even better because I'm just falling apart and I've got it together and I'm so pleasant.
Yeah, the turmoil inside you're like, wait a second, this is
and then I'm
working.
starting to like having these vivid dreams. And then I'm in our little Methodist church prayer chapel for the Easter vigil, and I'm like seeing a vision, and I'm seeing like what feels like God, and I was like, what, that can't be right. And then it's a tree that's a craggy tree with no leaves on a windswept cliff, and I'm looking up at it, and I'm sitting in the little chapel, and I'm looking up and seeing this thing like in the spirit, and I'm like, what is happening? What is happening?
Side note, were you on any drugs at the time?
Not yet.
You're like, and all of a sudden I had an awakening. I was in my living room.
Right. It was totally straight, totally sober.
Not yet.
Totally sober. I never took psychedelics until 3 years ago. So I didn't have any context for any of this stuff.
Dang.
So I go to the pastor, who was this really great guy. His name was Lawrence. And I said, I am having some big spiritual awakenings that make no sense whatsoever. What am I supposed to do? I'm so unhappy. And he was just this very wise guy, really beautiful. And I think it was because I was an English teacher that he gave me this assignment. He said, have you ever read a book of the Bible as a book? And I said, I have no context for what you're even talking about. What does that even mean? Like, isn't the Bible the thing that you quote things out of to tell us how to behave?
You don't read it from front to end, right?
Believe? Is that right? And I think a couple of times growing up as a good church kid, I was like, I'm going to read the Bible all the way through.
Sure.
And I got to Leviticus and I was like, that's it. I quit.
The laws.
It's too hard.
Third chapter.
I'm not going to read the law. Right. I'm out. He assigned me to read the Gospel of Mark. And he said, think about the Gospel of Mark as a book with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and a protagonist who is Jesus, and a series of supporting characters. And there's a conflict that rises to the climax of the crucifixion. Just go read it. And I did. And like the top of my head came off. And I was like, oh, this is the expression of a group of, like, this is constructed on purpose as a story. Like, this moves through a story arc. So I started studying about where the Gospels come from. And here is a group of people, a community who were handed down an oral tradition, and they created this story as a way of expressing their experience. I was like, okay, wait. Is everything an expression of people's experience?
What is going on?
And the answer, of course, is yes. Everything is an expression of people's experience. That doesn't mean God's not in it.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's not true, but it also means that we can look at it by looking at what were these people experiencing? Like, what were they working out? What were they trying to figure out? And that's where story work really came from for me, was that moment where I was just like, oh, everything's a story. Not everything's a lie. Everything is something that we've constructed to make meaning, in which case I delved into the quest for the historical Jesus and archaeology. And I delved into the whole idea of Mary Magdalene as this awakened being. And then I got into where the Bible even came from. And then I went to seminary, and then I just got a job at our little Methodist church.
So you're like, I can't teach anymore. I got to go do this.
Yeah. I just was like, I'm on fire. I'm exploding. What's happening?
Wow.
So I went to seminary, and then I started full-time while I was at seminary at our little Methodist church. That pastor, we were now at a different church. We'd moved to a larger town, and the first staff meeting, I was told, okay, everybody, let's repeat our controlling principles. Let's repeat our goals. Asses in pews, money in the plates, satisfied customers.
Gosh, that's crazy, man.
Wow.
That probably
this is
3
well,
years.
that at least answers my one question for other churches out there. As I always questioned, I wonder if other churches are businesses.
All churches are businesses. One of the tricks that I used at Journey Imperfect Faith Community to get around that, because that was such a turnoff for me for 10 years in organized religion, was as your pastor and your spiritual leader, I'm not ever going to know how much money you give to the church. Like, you cannot ever tell me, nor will I ever know how much money you give or don't give, because it was a way of getting around this idea that these are all supposed to be satisfied customers.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. On a real spiritual journey, if somebody comes in and sits down one day for an hour and gets what they need and they leave, that's a success.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As
But it's all
opposed
it
to,
should be.
we need to retain members and keep you happy and please keep you giving. Like, that's such bullshit. It's it's the money machine. It's business. Do you know what I mean? It's creepy.
It's the opposite of what it should be.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Get out of my
Thank
head, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, yeah, that's just okay. That's interesting. So you during that time, were you doing any of your other, kind of what you're doing now, or was it really just kind of locked in on helping the members of that church? And
the thing that I'm doing now ended up coming from what I learned in a hurry in being in ministry, because I was the education pastor and I was an associate and I was helping with worship, and we were doing what was then called contemporary worship because we were trying to be cool.
Oh,
and
yeah,
whatever.
contemporary. Were you feeling better at this point, or were you still feeling crappy?
No. Oh, no. I started having a migraine a day. It just got worse. I was bad. What happened was that I figured out really, really quickly, don't fix it for people. Like, somebody comes into the office and says, I'm really sad, or I'm really going through something, or I really have big questions. And the thing that we all are trained to do in our world, in this world, is fix it. Because they're trying to make it go away.
Especially men, right? Men as we're problem solvers, right? We have this innate problem solving. So if you have men that are rolling the church, you're like, all right, I got you. What do you need?
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Handled.
Yep.
So there's a scripture in this may be where you're going, Rick, and I'll let you kind of finish. There's a scripture in our we read the Bible. We also read something called the Book of Mormon, which I'm sure you're familiar with. It says, "Mourn with those that mourn, and comfort those that stand in need of comfort." And I always wondered what the difference was. What you just said was, don't comfort those that stand in need of comfort is fixing it, and sometimes you need to do that. But a lot of times you need to mourn with those that mourn, which is what I think you're alluding to. Like, don't fix it.
Agree.
Wow.
Completely agree. I think there's so many times when you look at the Jesus stories where all he does is he's just with somebody. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
Like,
yeah, right.
And he'll just say,
he's just chilling with them, hearing.
I'm just here. I'm just here. I'm not. There's no problem to solve here. There's nothing to fix.
Yeah,
like it's including in John when they bring the woman. It's a totally trumped up story, right? It's a setup where they're trying to set Jesus up. They're trying to set this woman up.
Yeah.
The woman caught in adultery. Like, what is that? By the way, where's the guy? I'm just saying.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, they come
this is a pivotal story of Jesus, right? Like,
hello. They throw this woman at Jesus' feet, and it says that he's squatting or sitting on the ground, and he's just doodling with his finger in the sand. And they're like, you need to answer this, da-da-da-da. So he knows that they're setting us up, and he just relaxes, right? And then he says, well, okay, are we doing this today? Is this what we're doing? Great. All right. Well, you guys all know about how the ritual of stoning works. Have you guys got the stuff in place? Are you ready to go? Has everybody brought their stones? Is everybody ready to? Okay. Who's the official accuser? Can I see the hands according to the law of Moses? You are? All right. That says that if you are without sin today, you may be the ones who cast stones. Who would like to start? Like, the whole time, he's not fixing anything. He's not fixing anything for this woman. He's not fixing anything for these people. He's just being a mirror for them, right? And when he's a mirror for them like this, they're all, and it said, and the text specifically says, the oldest ones first, like, put their stones down and say, well, shit, that didn't work, right? So then they all leave. And the youngest ones are like, I'm still, okay, whatever. So then then he says to this woman, where are your accusers? Like, that's what I'm talking about not fixing it for people.
Right.
Like, he doesn't say to her, let's talk about your behavior today, or let me tell you why this is not. He just is with her in her own process. What I learned early on is the absolute best thing I can do is just be with somebody in their process. And the more I trusted that, the more I trusted God was in that, Spirit was in that, their inner wisdom was in that, the more I believed that if I just held space, that the thing that they needed would present itself. Like, there was magic happening, there was alchemy happening, there was wisdom happening, there was possibility happening. I don't need to fix that. what are you kidding? I don't even know what the hell's going on half the time. I'm just here. Besides, the thing that people usually tell you first is not the thing that's really going on.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's
Right?
just the
Yeah,
tip
they
of the
complain
iceberg,
whatever's
right?
the most superficial thing that they can complain about. And
Right.
they're like, wait, that's not
So
it.
that's the presenting symptom, but that's not the thing.
Right.
Right. So I really learned about this. And this is where, for me, this practice really became real, was just being with people and saying, so what do you what it's basically saying, the answer, it's in there. We're going to go find it together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're the guide. It's the whole hero's journey, right? You're just the guide. You're not the hero.
Yep.
No,
I mean,
I'm
it's-
Gandalf,
Yeah.
right? That's
They-
my
they're
job.
the hero. You're just the
Yeah,
guide.
they're
right?
the hero.
Yeah.
For sure, they're the hero. For sure, they're the hero.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens sometimes too, you guys may have seen this too in friendships and relationships. What happens sometimes is somebody will get close to what they're trying to understand or answer or take apart or figure out, and they back off.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Huh.
they get close to it and then they're like, I don't.
What do you think
not ready
causes that?
yet.
They either
I think
consciously.
it's fear.
Okay.
I think it's resistance. I think
Okay.
there is resistance within us to change.
Mm.
And sometimes when I've gone through big periods of really beautiful, meaningful change, immediately afterwards, some shadow piece of me that doesn't want to be this healthy will come up and go, I'm just going to throw a fit about something right now. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that's not.
I
it's-
can definitely attest to that, where people, I've talked about this intentional life, and that's too exhausting. And I'm like, really? You think that's exhausting?
You think that's hard?
Like, the way we're living in default
Right.
is
That's
exhausting.
Yeah.
Try
That's
defaulting till you're 60 or 70 or 80 and then you just drop dead. I mean, there's
Yeah.
look at all the men who, when they retire, they just drop dead.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't, their meaning, the deeper place in them, they were never paying attention to it. They were
Right.
never feeding it. They were never honoring it. They were just up here
Yep.
all the time. And then, the outward framework for their identity, which was their job,
Yep.
is not there anymore. Done.
Put X millionaire wherever. He's like, I'm 70 years old. I've made my businesses. I've done all this. Now what do? I have no
Right.
purpose, or they either die and they don't know how the chance for it. I had a conversation like this a few weeks back with a colleague and a friend, and basically I said, I don't understand how people could just be so greedy. I'm shorthanding, like, you're a millionaire, billionaire, whatever it may be. You got enough money. I don't know why there's this, I need more, and why not give more? All right, this is the constant parable that's always going in my head. Like, why is society just, why can't we all just get along, and why can't we just provide and help each other? Why is this
Right.
this innate competitive, I got to be better, I got to be more, and the hell with all of you guys? I just don't understand that. Maybe you can kind of.
You didn't get an answer for that?
No, oddly enough.
I'm very disappointed right now. I thought you were going to tell us because I want to know.
I left you guys on the cliffhanger there. Next episode, I will tell you.
We're asking the wise. The
Oh.
wise men.
I do know a number of people who have a lot of money, and when I ask them how much is enough, they don't understand the question. Do you know what I mean? Because we're
Wow.
programmed with scarcity.
Hmm.
I think in our culture at a deep level, tribal cultures, communal cultures understand something that we don't understand. We are living in a culture in which we are told, and this is part of the script that many of us are raised with, in which we are told that there is not enough. If the deep fear is there's not enough, there's not enough to go around, there's not enough for me, then the fear is, if I don't work harder, if I don't get more, if I don't acquire more, if I don't perform more, if I don't climb, if I don't achieve, if I don't, right?
Yep.
Then I'm not going to be okay. I'm going to be bad. I'm not going to be loved. I literally had a woman that I was working with a number of months ago say, if I quit this job, she was talking about the job she hates. She makes good money. She said, if I quit this job, I will not be loved.
Wow. I mean, super
Not
sad.
if I quit this job,
Yeah,
I won't pay my bills. I won't be loved.
That's yeah.
Right?
Wow.
That's so deep in us.
Yeah.
It's our programming. It's the script that we're raised in. So the idea of saying, wait a minute, there's enough. I'm good. I'm okay. It's so counterintuitive. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, how many times do you just, speaking of you guys awakening us to move out of our defaults and into intention.
Yeah.
How many times do we shop on default. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
I'm just going to go to Target. Like, I'm just going to sleepwalk through Target.
I can tell you I never do, Rick. I don't shop ever.
I love sleep shopping. I do it.
I'd love
I'm
to
not
be
kidding.
able to.
I do. I've done it. And the worst is doing it when you're hungry.
Oh, dude. No. I can't do it. I can't do it. I had part of my spiritual awakening was to get in touch with like my relationship with food, because I was using food to mask my
100%.
emotions.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Like I have to, part of my intentionality is
Walmart
to pay
aisle.
attention to my food. Like it's hard.
It is.
Because it's deep.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's very deep. And I think it's deep for a lot of people. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you go to, you kind of get over certain things, but just an example would be like, oh, I can't have homemade chocolate chip cookies just chilling in my house because they'll disappear, you know? And they'll and so like, I know, I'm like, oh, can't you just have it in that cabinet? It's like, maybe, but like, I just don't put it in the house. And then I don't have to worry about it.
A little side note, Jared will make 1 or 2 cookies at a time. Literally cooks up 1 or 2 cookies at a time.
Gotta control it, man. Control the flow,
Impressive.
Rick.
Yes.
Respect.
We talked about control. I'll sit there just watch him like he's like a safari animal, as he's got his little tiny thing of ice cream.
How is he doing that?
It's incredible. It's a specimen, I tell you. You can't make any noise, otherwise you'll scare him.
I'm behind glass. Don't
know.
tap on the glass.
He's having his moment. I need to also tell you before we forget this, I also, when I left ministry after 30 years, went through a big ego death because it was that same question. You know, we were talking about a few minutes ago, like, this is my identity. This is my job. This is my, how I prove who I am in the world. And I'd gotten divorced and I was single for a couple of years. And then I fell in love with this amazing person whose name literally is Christina Wisdom.
That's awesome.
Like that is her name.
That's awesome.
And so when we started dating, I was like, can I change my name to Rick Wisdom? And she was like, well, I'm going to stay Christina Wisdom. So she's still Christina Wisdom.
That's awesome.
Married.
Hey, Christina.
We've been married 6 years.
So there's his ego death,
we moved to Santa Fe to get a fresh start. You know, it was COVID and we were just like, what if we just rethought everything? She has her own really beautiful, brilliant career. She'd been to seminary, but she's also a lawyer. And I went to Santa Fe and we lived in a house there that was beautiful and, you know, looking at the beautiful sky and the whole thing and being in the mountains. And I didn't realize it, but hilariously, I had like a true biblical adventure, gone to the desert, you know, to like die. A part of me needed to die.
Yeah.
And I realized that I was so attached to, I can only serve God, honor my soul, and help people in the church. Like that was, I did not know that was a part of my script.
Interesting.
But it had been there for 30 years.
You had 10 years and 17. So yeah.
Plus the 3 years that I'd done seminary and been like apprenticing.
Well, plus you taught 10 years prior to that. So you're a teacher. You've been a guide for 40 years at this point.
Right.
Wow.
So I really thought I am no good I guess I'll just work at, I don't know, I'll go to Home Depot. Like I didn't know.
Where were you working at the time?
Nowhere. I just was, I needed to stop.
I got you.
I just needed to stop.
Sure.
Okay.
I was teaching part-time for a spiritual direction program because I do spiritual direction with people, which I really, really love. And I was doing some online courses with some people that I knew that had signed up to support me, which was really, really great. But I was really just lost. And I had to get down into a really deep place where I said, maybe I have value and worth, and maybe I get to be here. And it's not about being in that container in that way anymore. And it was really hard and it was great. And something in me broke open and then new things were possible. Who knew? Because the old thing needed to go. Do you know what I mean? So
now, did you start right away from this ego death? So a couple of years went by, you were working part-time. Did you start life coaching? And when did that kind of come into, okay, this is what I'm going to do now?
3 years ago.
3 years ago?
3 years ago.
Wow,
yeah.
okay.
And it was when we moved back from Santa Fe. We lived in Santa Fe for 2 years. And then we said we really missed Austin because we've been here for a long time. And we missed our people and we missed community. And we did not want to go to church anymore. We wanted to just rethink the whole thing. And I thought, what do I really, really, really want to do? Like in my heart, like what from here? I don't even know how this would work. I don't, can you make a living doing this? I have no idea.
Right.
But what if I just did this thing that I'm really good at, that I love doing, that I've done for a long time? What if I just offered that to people and I just put it out there? And then I have clients all over the world. I lead retreats. I'm writing a book. It's so great.
Yeah.
And it was all about being in flow and being open to the spirit.
So no more stress, no more migraines. Well, I shouldn't say stress. Stress is loose, but no more migraines due to the turmoil that you were in.
I have a migraine a quarter.
Okay.
I think it's just a little leftover or something to say, And for a long time, for years and years and years, I was taking like migraine prevention medicine on a daily basis. And then when I got invited to do a psychedelic plant medicine ceremony 2.5 years ago, they said, well, you can't take that medicine because it doesn't work with this thing that's going to happen in your brain. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Isn't that
okay,
crazy?
I'll stop taking
it. Was
that
a pharmaceutical medicine that you got prescribed to you?
Yeah. It was like from my psychiatrist because of stress. Yeah. And I had taken it for 20 years, something like that.
So the psychedelics ceremony, was that a hard decision to actually do that and make that choice?
The thing that led me into it was that a very, very trusted friend. This was not like, get together with friends and do drugs. This was a trusted friend for whom this was like, I'm choosing to do this as a healing modality.
Was it ayahuasca?
No, but it's related to ayahuasca. It comes from that same world. It comes from that same tradition, but it's a particular kind of medicine that's nicknamed heart opener. And you don't trip out into the universe. You're present and awake.
Oh, very interesting.
How our mind is busy. In this particular kind of ceremony, the mind just quiets.
Awesome.
Which is really, really helpful.
Just listen to the heart.
And I think all of the great mystics, I think the prophets, I think all of these people throughout history, East and West, the yogis, everybody, whether it's through meditation, breath work, whether it's through plants, whether it's through mysticism, whatever, the quieting of the mind so that we can be present to what's going on inside of us opens us up to the spirit that's always present.
Yeah, I believe that. Yep.
So I think that's what people have been experiencing forever, like all around the world. And we Westerners
are quiet the mind in that way.
Whatever the tool is, whatever the modality is, for me, it needs to be in ceremony. It needs to be in a safe space. It needs to be with a trained facilitator. That's my preference. That's how it works for me.
Yeah.
I have friends who do psilocybin by themselves, in the backyard, because that's a really neat way for them to connect to their heart or their spirit or their whatever. That's fine too. I mean, that's their choice, but I prefer to be in a container, in a ceremony with other human beings, and then we can go deeper together.
Yeah.
So that's for me.
So it was less like trippy. You were really more present, it sounds like.
Yes, because I need to be present. Like, it's easy for me to just wander off in my head into space. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can just daydream and then be.
I mean, look at the mural behind you. You can tell that. I mean, that's bam. That's his mind going. Yeah, that's right.
I'm just saying. And I love reading, and I love studying, and I love spirit stuff. I love theology. I love philosophy. All of that stuff. So for me, it's very much about being in my body and being grounded and being present. And that's where the real work has happened for me too. In that way.
Now, your retreats that you do you handle that, or is this not even something you do?
You mean about plant medicine?
Yeah, the plant, like this specific heart opening, that's just something you did on your own. You don't do these type of retreats yourself.
Correct. My retreats that I lead are about story work. So like, for instance, I did a men's retreat a couple of years ago for a large organization here in Texas where we talked about, the theme was, what did they tell you? And the whole retreat was, what did they tell you about what a good boy is? What did they tell you about what you were supposed to want? Did they tell you about what would make you happy? What did they tell you about what was taboo or bad or wrong? And, 40 men unpacking that together is really powerful.
Super powerful, yeah.
We're comparing each other's stories, and we're also like, oh my God, I never thought about that. Or, oh, me too. And then the next thing you know, and then like we included drumming, and we did really beautiful like breath work. And Sunday morning we had a whole ritual where we said, this is what I'm choosing for myself. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of stuff that I do. I've done 2 retreats this year where I led, I used the Hansel and Gretel fairy tale, and we talked about the idea of being abandoned and wandering and lost, and then knowing, oh, I already know the way home. I know who I am. I know how I'm supposed to get home. So
That's cool.
I'm just getting to do cool stuff.
That is cool.
That is really legit.
Definitely,
So
we'll
when
have
people
to definitely connect with some retreats that we want to do. That's how the Happy Atrium started, Rick. Was
What?
that's
What?
our story. That's our story.
What?
Yeah.
That's our story. Yeah, the Happy Atrium, man, like it started out that we wanted to do wellness retreats, a variety of wellness retreats, showcasing self-care practices with awesome people such as yourself,
Wow.
teaching people. So we're going to get there one day. For sure
Great.
we are. You know, for sure we want to get there. Oh man, my head's just going crazy with all the different type of potential retreats that I want to do. And obviously
with
coming
you.
across you, we're going to have to link up with something in the future here.
I'm down.
You're down. Now, have you done, is it just men retreats or do you do other
Both.
retreats? You
All
do
the
both?
above. Co-ed.
Okay.
Yeah. All
Cool.
of it.
Cool.
What's interesting too about I don't know about y'all's experience, but for me, there is something that can happen when a retreat is just men, because men are, it's in some ways in front of women less likely to open up.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that when guys are all together for a while, it's like, so as quickly as possible, I want to help them break down their resistance to Jared's point earlier, to vulnerability.
Yeah.
Right. I want to and I've got so many hooks and tricks to use.
Especially with
to
the
get
co-eds.
us.
I mean, I find that like with the co-ed, let's get out. Like, you know, the hell with the men's retreats because it's easier to be vulnerable, right? To a degree.
Right.
But with women, like that, if you want to grow, guys, this is the time. Let's do it in front of our wives. Let's do it in front of our girlfriends, our partners, whoever. That's the real growth. It's going to burn. It's going to suck. But man, she's going to respect you. He's going to, whatever your partner is, they're going to respect you so more as a partner.
And when men and women can actually listen to each other, because so much of what's happening in our culture is we're so polarized and we're so against each other. When men and women can listen to each other, that's an alchemy can happen there where people can really start to actually understand each other and accept each other and accept themselves. And that's, and then you do the same thing. It's like, oh, you experienced that too? Oh my gosh, I felt that too. We don't know that. Do you know what I mean? We're all in our little silos.
Jeez.
Well, you'll go to these. I've been to a couple of men's retreats myself, and they've been powerful for me. And I've always thought, man, I would like to be at one of these with my wife because you can experience these things together and like go back and learn together and
grow together. Yeah,
continue to grow, right, and build on it. Before I forget, so you obviously your big thing is listening and helping people uncover their story, but then there's a kind of rewriting of that story that happens, right? What are some of those things, like the tools that you're using to help people with that? Like
the whole question for me, it's a great question. The whole thing for me is not, okay, now I'm going to write a new story.
Okay.
Like that was when I was first formulating this idea over many years, I realized if I just write a new story to sort of sub in a solution, that's not it. So what I suggest instead is, okay, well then what would it be like? And this totally tracks with what you men are offering to people. What would it be like for this to be an adventure? And you're creating it as you go. And when you guys talk about intentionality and being awake and being aware and being involved, like this, how do I want my life to look right now? How do I want
this is it? Yeah.
Once I see, for instance, this woman that I was talking about earlier, she says I was supposed to be the good girl. I was supposed to be perfect. I was supposed to be whatever. When we get past what I was supposed to be, then it simply becomes, what do you want?
Right.
That's the question over and over and over. What do you want? What do you want? And so to your point, Jared, I have a lot of tricks and tools and meditations and exercises to give people so that they can like actually delve into, well, what do I want? And what kind of life do I want to be living now? And if my concept of what a woman is supposed to be or what God wanted from me or what I was supposed to be as a man was like this, and I'm open to rethinking it. What do I want for myself? What do I want to co-create with God? What do I want to co-create with my family? What do I want to co-create with the universe? What is the need in the world that I want to respond to? I mean, it's wide open.
So have you ever
Okay.
found anybody that'd be like, yep, this is what I want? Or is it always a adventure for them to figure that out? Or after they have this awakening, is it like, this is what I want? Have you ever had those experiences with people? Or is it the obvious, nope, it's an adventure for them?
That's a really good question. I think, Sam, I think it's always an adventure. I think
Sure.
even if somebody said, you know what, I did this whole thing. Now I want to do this other thing.
You're like, wait a second, hold
Well,
up.
No. Like, I mean, if somebody has real clarity about what they're after, that's great.
Sure.
And at the same time, again, I think that it's a mistake for us to just like, oh, problem solved, fixed, new thread, new job. I'm good.
I'm thinking all the type A people out there, like that are very rigid and structured, and they feel like they might need to have that answer right away, right?
Okay.
Right? If that's
Great.
the case, right? I mean,
Whatever. Because their wisdom is driving this anyway.
Sure.
If somebody, like, none of us is going to be fully awakened in this lifetime. Like, that's not a thing. Like, all of us are in process. All of us are, what does Ted Lasso say? I'm a work in progress, right? All of us are an evolving, awakening being. And a lot of the time in meditation, when I'm really, really quiet, what I hear is, I am being. Like, that's, when Moses says, well, all the Egyptian, has this awakening in the desert and this bush is on fire. And he says, well, all the gods in Egypt have names. What's your name? And this thing says to him, I am being. I am being. I am being. I am being. Like, it's not about arriving. It's not about fixing it. It's not about figuring it out, even though we want to so badly. It's about being fully in the being that we are being.
You're constantly writing this adventure, right? As you're living
We're
it.
always writing it, right? And it's open to, and part of what I tell people all the time is, you get to change your mind. You get to change your mind. You get to,
What's
if
an
you
example?
believe you get to change your mind.
Like you're telling them those things, but like, give me maybe a pragmatic tool that that you would give them to help them change their mind.
If somebody, I think it's really, really wise if somebody needs to stay on this path of remembering that they have permission to change their mind, that a practice that they can incorporate every morning or every evening or whatever is to say, what feels in alignment today? Like, it could be really, really simple. What feels like it's in alignment? And it might be that they've identified, this is my purpose, or this is my passion, or this is what I care most about, or this is what God told me, or whatever. This is what my heart wants. Like, am I feeling like I'm in alignment with that thing, with that resonating? And then the question becomes, well, if it's not in alignment and it's been 20 days in a row that it's not in alignment, is there something that you want to change? Is there something that you want to adjust? Is there something that you want to fine tune? You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Maybe it could just be, I just want to add this one practice. It might be as simple as somebody saying, I told my boss no.
Yeah.
For the first time ever. And then they just let that with them. We just watch and see. I'm like, okay, can you get back to me in a week and tell me if you're still alive? Do you know what I mean? Like how you're doing? Are you okay? Because of course they're going to be okay. Of course it's going to be fine. But this is they just went through a big step. So then we observe, right? We just observe. How does this feel?
Okay.
How is it working?
The alignment thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's powerful.
It's a great tool. That is a very simple, powerful tool that I am going to, number one, adopt in my own personal life.
It's intentionality, right?
Yay.
It's literally a perfect.
And
I was just about to say, you guys are already doing it. It's the same thing.
Well,
yeah, but
right?
we're
looking
we
for
try
tools, like different things, right? Where it's
we try, right? Where it may not feel in alignment. I'm going to use on that, where our tool that we're using every day leading up to now may not be, right? And to be fair, that's not a question that I even put into my day. Right. So in some degree, there is still defaulting that's happening where it's, Jared, I know your schedule pretty well. Like I can tell you what Jared's schedule is, in his morning routine. Like maybe that has become his default and to switch it up with this. Is this feeling alignment for me today to go to the gym right away? Right. So that's it's a simple, powerful tool. Thank you, Rick. Well, there,
And it could be too, it could be that that question gets introduced into a marriage, or that question
Sure.
gets introduced into the way we're supporting children, or that question gets introduced into money.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is this pattern in alignment with what we really, really
Okay.
are choosing?
I'm gonna build
So
on that for a second.
going
Okay.
back.
No, Sam, you go for it.
Okay.
You go for it, buddy.
So
I'll remember
going
mine.
back to the rich people, right? I'm just going to say the billionaires out there.
Mm.
Does this feel in alignment for me in this life, in today, right? We can single it down to the day, but I think greater is, does this feel in alignment for my life?
Bingo.
Switch the paradigm, right? Maybe it's not. I haven't even thought about it as a, my I'm gonna name drop here, Elon Musk. No negative things at all, but maybe that's an answer or a question that someone like him might need to ask.
For sure.
Is does this feel in alignment for me to do this? Anyone like him, A, B, and C person. I think that's the golden ticket right there, is just to get people out of that default setting just by asking that question every day. I wake up every day, I'm grateful for the day, but right after that should be, what feels in alignment for me today?
Yeah.
That's a simple tool. Thank you.
Yeah. Jared, you were going to map on with something.
Yeah. So kind of building on that, it has to do with the law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And so for many, many years, my understanding of the law of attraction, I won't give this may be pretty obvious once I tell you this, but basically I've always thought that, hey, like I am something, right? Put on, I am this, I am a great husband, I'm a great a father, right? I am a worthy this, or, I am this and that. And I heard something the other day. Have you ever heard of the program called Mind Valley? At Mind Valley, they put out a lot of fantastic content.
Yeah.
I think, is it Vikram? Anyway, the gentleman who started it, I just saw this ad on YouTube, right? Because I had a subscription to them and stuff. So anyway, he said this idea of the law of attraction. We always say like this, I am, and I'm like, literally, like, that's why it hit me with like a ton of bricks, because he goes, I don't do that anymore. He's like, what I do is I think the law of attraction is very real, but in order to really engage it properly, you need to say, why am I fill in the blank, right? I am a great husband. No. Why am I a great husband? And then you start answering it. Why am I such a loving, present husband? Because I serve my wife. I find ways to serve her every single day, right? I find ways we go on dates every night. I make sure I hold her at least once, and I kiss her daily. So you're answering those questions, so you're therefore then attracting that, right? Because you're subconsciously and then consciously trying to live that out. And so to build on what you were saying, this idea of, you can apply it to here and here. Well, and then I say, well, why am I a present and loving father, right? Or why this and why that? Why am I healthy and strong, whatever? And then I answer it, right? And that's something to go off of what Sam was saying, to kind of riff off that a little bit. I've been changing that part of my morning routine, right? And it's super powerful. And then all of a sudden I start seeing things like I'll meet this person. I'm like, how did that? Oh yeah, that's because, I get it. Anyway, I gave you a little bit of
universe.
I don't really know what I'm expecting you to say with that, but basically just general thoughts on maybe what you've learned about the law of attraction, how that jives with it.
For me, thank you for both of those. For me, the thing that I'm really interested in is checking in with my higher self, spirit, soul, expression of God, depending on somebody's theology or their philosophy, is checking in within and saying that whole question about, am I in alignment? I feel strongly, I sense really strongly that the things that I'm supposed to learn, that I want to learn, that are for my highest and best good, the things that are the places where I need to grow. When I'm doing this practice of being in alignment, when I'm meditating, being open, praying, whatever you want to call it, that those things are going to come to me. And it's a question of whether I'm awake, intentional, paying attention, willing to engage, or I'm sleepwalking and defaulting and just not going to see the thing. The thing will keep coming to me as long as until I have mastered it, learned it, moved through it, incorporated it, integrated it, right? So for me, it's not even about me declaring what I'm trying to attract. It's about me being awake to what is in front of me.
Wow.
Because whatever I'm attracting, like whatever's in front of me, I called in front of me.
Yeah, it's
Sure.
there.
I'm
You've
absolutely,
attracted
yeah.
it. You're
Like,
less
that's
concerned
why
about
this is here.
attracting it. You're more concerned about being aware of the thing that's there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because there's a lot that I've attracted into my life. There's a lot that I called in that I didn't even know I was doing.
You weren't
consciously.
actively thinking about this. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. Maybe
Yeah,
it
I
was painful. Maybe it was wonderful. Maybe it was just to teach me something or whatever. I'm like, I don't, what is this? What is the least creepy way to say this? I'm not interested in trying to sell something. Do you know what I'm saying?
To anyone, including yourself.
Period.
Yeah.
Because it's just not that. Then that's me trying to make people give me something.
Right. Right.
Do you know what I mean? Do I have a website? Yes. Do I have a social media presence? Yes. Do I put out a video every day? Yes. Do I tell people what I'm doing? Yes. Do I want people to know that this really beautiful thing is happening? Yes.
Mhm.
And then it's my job to let it go
Right.
and say, I trust that there is something happening that's way bigger than something that I can figure out. And so
Hmm.
for me, the law of attraction is really about my intention being as open as it can be to say, okay, universe, okay, God, okay, source, okay, soul, what are you putting in front of me? What is my response to this? How can I be present? How can I learn from this? How can I be loving? How can I be of service? Then the rest takes care of itself. Because, I mean, there is a great tapestry of meaning and being and beauty that is happening that I'm sure as shit not in charge of, which is good.
Which is good. Yeah.
The master creator, right, is in charge of that. You're just trying to be aware.
Right.
That's an awesome way to look at it. Where, right, so many people that are on this self-help guide, this law of attraction is a stressful thing for them to a degree. I've heard, opposites of both. The law of attraction is great. It's I have everything in front of me because of this is what I wished upon it. I made gratitude for the things that I don't have as if I had it. That whole law of attraction.
Right.
But what you're saying, reiterating that, where you don't even think about those items. You don't think about what you're trying to attract. You're just existing to what we're trying to do, which is basically be aware and intentional.
When I find myself in a loop around the thing that I don't have that I want, and then I think I'm going to manifest that. I'm going to get into the law of attraction. And I'm going to make that happen.
Yep.
There is this little voice of wisdom that says, why do you want this thing that you don't have? What scarcity mentality are you in that you're saying that you don't have this thing?
Wow.
You're like that's a place of saying it's not enough. And then I think about, our elder brother Jesus saying, or why are you guys so anxious? Like, could you just look at flowers? Like, do you have you looked at birds? Like,
remember
birds?
the lilies.
Right. Hello.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Do you notice that birds do not build barns? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just if your Father in heaven, like if spirit, if source, if the whole universe is taking care of their needs.
Yeah.
Do you not think that your needs are going to be met? And of course, the answer is no, Jesus, my needs are not going to be met unless I make it happen. Like that's the mindset that he's combating. It's the same thing as when there's the classic feeding of the 5,000. All these people have come out to the country to hear Jesus talk. They're getting crowded, and the disciples are all freaking out because there's all these people, and they're taking on responsibility. And they go to Jesus and go, you should dismiss these people because this is going to be really bad, and they're going to be unhappy. And here's our flow chart about meeting people's needs and quality customer satisfaction, blah 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 blah. And he just says, well, you could feed them. Like you could feed them. Do you have anything? And some kid says, I have lunch. Right. They're all like fish. He's totally fighting their sense of scarcity and their view of the universe, that resources are limited. This kid says, you can have my lunch. It's a poor people's lunch. It's, dried fish and barley loaves. And Jesus is like, great, let's just use that. I read in seminary years and years and years ago, a teacher who said, so then what happens clearly is nobody walks out into the country without some food in their pocket. Like nobody is going to walk out into the middle of nowhere without
Basic
some
logic.
food.
Yeah.
Everybody has a canteen or something. So when this kid gives his lunch to Jesus and Jesus says, "You guys, anybody?"
Anybody else
Everybody's
got more?
like,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I mean,
an
I got
interesting
an apple.
perspective. You're saying
Super
everybody just threw it
huge.
into the pit.
I mean,
Right?
I remember growing up, like, yeah, he took this and broke it apart. That's the story that was told, but
And then he broke the
Never have I ever
bread,
thought
and then
about the-
miraculously, what does he break it 7 million times so that
Right.
there's enough for everybody?
Right.
Like what's really happening is that Jesus, this is a story about
What a different
combating scarcity.
Yeah.
Like the fear that his students have about this situation is the same fear that we have. We're dude, if I don't make this happen, it's not going to happen. Who's going to
Sure.
take care of this family if it's not for me? I have to feed my family. I have to pay the mortgage. I
Yeah.
have to whatever. And Jesus is like, you just are not seeing how the universe really works.
Mm.
Like how the universe really works is that your Father in heaven cares for you. Whatever understanding of Father in heaven is
Sure.
for people, right?
No, but he
So
was a
for
master
me-
teacher of these universal principles, right? These
Hello?
universal celestial principles.
Yes.
He was the master at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. He's in it. Like when he says, do you not see that the kingdom of heaven is all around you? Like, do you not see that the kingdom of heaven is within you? Do you not see that this is the kingdom of heaven? If you have ears to hear, anybody? Is anybody in there? And then he'll be like, okay, that's not working. Okay. So yeast, you put it in dough and then it rises. That's like this.
Yeah.
Anybody? Okay, let me try another one. Right. I can just see him just working so hard to try and get this really mysterious stuff across to people who are just like us,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
who are scared, who are anxious, who don't understand how much is possible because we live in the 3D world where we think everything is limited and it's scarce. That's a story
Mm.
that our culture has sold us on.
Yeah.
And I
Scarcity
just think it's
mentality.
bullshit. I think
Yeah.
it's wrong. I really do.
Yeah.
So how do you
100%.
get out of that mentality, Rick?
The scarcity-
Practice.
Practice. I was just gonna say, you gotta believe what Rick just said and try it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. The next time you have that mindset,
Seriously.
and just try it, and it's little by little because it's gonna take
Sure.
a minute to get out of it.
Oh man. Oh man, it's hard because everybody's participating. It's all like Richard Rohr, the Franciscan priest who founded the Center for Action and Contemplation in Albuquerque. He's a genius. He's brilliant. And he says, we are all living in a mass hypnotic trance
I believe
about scarcity.
it. Yeah, I believe
All
it.
of us.
Sure.
Like we're all watching TV and we're all watching stuff online and we're all thinking, I got to have more stuff and I'm not going to be okay and I'm not safe.
And, that,
And
yeah.
then of course we're operating out of fear as opposed to I'm
Love.
good.
Yeah.
I'm okay. There's love. There's connection. I'm
Yeah, that's a
blessed.
good
My
point.
gosh, I have so many blessings. Like I need another storeroom. I need another storage building. I need another. I mean, what are we doing?
Right. And it goes back to a very basic principle, which is you wake up grateful every day. You think about whatever it may be, 3 things. You hear how many people out there say, just show gratitude. Showing gratitude will make you not want more. At least that's
It's
the idea
huge.
behind that
Huh.
self-care practice. Is
It's
just wake up and
huge.
be like, wow, I have this. I've been trying to teach that with my 10-year-old. He's like, I don't know what I'm grateful for. I was
Mhm.
like, just pick one thing, dude. He's like, I don't know. Jared, you can see Logan doing this.
It's just practice.
And he's just like, I don't know. I mean, he's 10 years old, but I'm trying to get him into that mindset. I don't want him to be 60 years old by the time he finally
Right.
has this epiphany. I want him
Right.
to have it as a teenager so he
Yeah.
can trying to teach him to get, further down the line with his spiritual awakening. And so
Absolutely.
my son, he's just like, I don't know. I'm like, dude, think about all the things that you have.
His voice.
He's like, I don't know, Dad. He's like, I don't know. I was like, what do you love? What is something that you love? Like, it was such a hard 5 minutes for me just to get him to say one
Oh.
thing. I'm like, he's like, my shoes. And I was like, dude, you love your shoes. Like, they're
Yeah.
expensive. They're nice. Like,
Beautiful.
are you grateful for them? He's like, yeah, Dad. I'm like, okay, see, we did it.
Got it. Just
5
practice.
minutes. Yeah. So that right
Just
there. So we
practice.
know it, right? All 3 of us, we know what it is, and there's plenty of other people out there. They also know what it is, but we deal with this default setting of I
Yep.
want more. I go
Yep.
through myself, right? My savings got hit, so I want more to go
Right.
put in my savings. It's such a
And
man,
then-
a
and
rat
then we
race
think
of
we'll
the
be-
wheel.
Then we think we'll be safe.
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
That's another thing that I do in story work is to ask people, what is the thing that you think if you have it or you get it or you achieve it, you'll be safe?
Mm. And why
And
do you
that's
think it's going to be safe? And are
right.
you really safe?
Right. What does
Yeah.
that even mean? Where does that
Right.
belief come from? Like
Yeah.
how old is that for you? A
Right.
big part of this story work too, by the way, is to go back to some part of our childhood or some part of ourselves that belief got grounded in, because the way children think is very absolute, right? It's
Yep.
very black and white. Either it's magical or it's like teacher says so, the
Yep.
Bible says so, mama says so. So there is that part of us that is very black and white thinking, very extreme. If I never get in trouble, then I'll be safe.
Yep.
And then that drives our behavior for 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years,
Sure.
where I just don't want to get in trouble because then that will keep me safe.
Wow.
It's not going to keep you safe. That's not real.
Right.
That's a child's reasoning that's still running the show.
That's the
So
story.
it's just a question of seeing it, right? And then reframing it. So
That's right. That's right. That's the story that we're telling ourselves.
Wow.
all the time. All the time.
With you having this spiritual awakening, you know, it's safe to assume as a human being, you still go through all this stuff.
Sure.
Right. So because
Of
of having,
course.
of course, right. So because of having that spiritual awakening, that's the idea I think people are getting wrong. When I talk to people about this intentional living and just awakening as a loose word, they say, well, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's literally what their comments are. What is the point? And I'm like, what do you mean? What's the point? Like, do you love how you're living now? Because that right there might be the point. If you don't love what you're doing right now, then your point is to get out of what you don't love. So, but going back to what for you though, by having these tools, you can quickly get out of that spiral.
Yes.
Right. That's the whole point right there, is that because it's still going to exist. Right. We talked to Kritajna, the monk, the other month. It's still going to be there, but by having this foundation, you can quickly get back to the reset back to what it is. It's like meditative practices, right? You're still going to drift, but to get back in, that's the same thing.
And I don't fight my mind anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't try and quiet my mind. My mind's just going to be busy. It's just a little busy beaver all the time. That's fine.
Busy beaver. I love it.
I'm not going to fight my emotions. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm sorry, anger, you don't get to be present here. Oh, fear, I'm sorry, you don't get to be here. They're here. Like, if they're here, they're here. So for me, spiritual awakening and emotional work and maturing is really just about making peace with what is. So it's easier to come back to center. It's just quicker. It's easier to come back to this place of a deep knowing and wisdom. And somebody cuts me off, or somebody says something I don't like, or something doesn't go the way I want it to. I have a little spike of anger or fear or jealousy or whatever, but I'm not stuck in it, like looping in it the way I used to be when I was in that space. So for me, that's the point,
people. There's the point.
It's just calmer. You know what I mean? It's, and then if the energy is not expended in, spinning the plates, then what can I use this energy for?
Incredible.
I could be creative. I could dream things. I could be in relationship. I could serve more people. I can be more present.
Yep.
So for me, that's what that's about.
Incredible. As we're ending here, Rick, where can we find all of your stuff, your platform, your who
DrRickDiamond.com. The website is DrRickDiamond.com. My social media is at Dr. Rick Diamond. And then when I also have a free email newsletter that I put out every week, and so you can go to my website and sign up for that. And when I'm going to be having an event or I'm doing an online class or whatever, all that stuff is in the publications. And then people message me all the time through Instagram and TikTok, and I love it, and Facebook. So
we appreciate
it. And you're very responsive. That's how we got in touch with you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Rick, I got to ask,
amazing.
Some books that come to your mind. What are some interesting books you're reading right now? And just some top books of let's go more. I'm fine with, kind of fiction books that people would maybe find some serious value in, maybe not so theoretical necessarily, but like could be fictional, obviously could be in nonfiction, but just some books that come out.
I just reread for the first time since high school, The Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
like the whole thing.
Okay.
It's so good.
All
It
of
is
them, you
so
mean?
epic.
The whole-
all of it. The whole
Wow.
thing. Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, and Return of
Really?
the King.
I've
That
never
might
read it.
take me 40 years to read all of them.
It is so good.
Oh, so you
He
like
is
fantasy
such a good
then?
writer. It's
Yeah.
it's fantasy, but it's really the hero's journey, and it's really
100%.
about all of us awakening to the struggle within us. I mean, it's about what it means to be human, and it's so good.
Awesome.
I also really love, speaking of Richard Rohr, Father Richard Rohr, I love Richard Rohr's book, Everything Belongs.
Okay.
I think it's really powerful because it talks about this idea of getting past duality, getting past the idea of something's bad, something's good. What is present for me, and how can it teach me what's happening
that's
for me, and
beautiful.
how can I incorporate it? He also has a really good book, speaking of Richard Rohr, he also has a really book called From Wild Man to Wise Man.
Mm.
And it's specifically about, the men's work movement, and about what we can learn about how to be not jerks. Do you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
be awake and whatever. I really like, speaking of, we were talking about plant medicine earlier.
Mhm.
I really liked the larger discussion in Michael Pollan's book, How to Change Your Mind.
Yeah. I want to read that. That's on my list.
Because he talks about psychedelics, but he also talks about the idea of how the brain works and how we do meaning making. For
Yeah.
me, that's what this is all about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife,
That's right.
my wife is reading the new book by Elizabeth Gilbert, and I apologize, I don't know the name of the new book, but she talks about addiction, and she talks about recovery, and she talks about relationships, and she talks about telling the truth, and it's supposed to,
All the way
my
to the
wife is
river.
just- Yes.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Yes. That's it. That's
What's
it.
it called,
That's it.
Jared? What's it called again?
All the way to the river.
That's it. Yeah,
It's
it's
her
amazing.
memoir.
Yes.
Huh.
Okay.
Also, I also am very. What's the other one that I was going to recommend? The tentative title for the book that I am writing, and that I'm almost finished with the draft that we will then get people to look at, and the whole thing. The tentative title is From Should to Shall.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then it has a little subtitle like Story Work and You Living the Life You Choose, or something like that. But the idea would be that we're moving out of, this is what I should do, or this is what I'm supposed to do, or this is my default, as you men do with people. And I'm
Wow.
moving into, this is what I'm choosing to do. So
I love that.
That's
Man.
Fantastic.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, man. I
Thanks.
can't even imagine your library and how. Oh man,
Oh
just
yeah.
the amount of books. I mean, I'm starting to build a little. I've got. I do a lot of listening as well. I love listening to audiobooks as well.
Yeah.
On the move.
Yeah, I
really
do
what I
too.
do.
I love it. Yeah, it's
so
fun.
obviously reading and on the move and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I just finished one called Fanatical Prospecting. So that's just.
Is it about prospecting?
It's all about prospecting, and basically don't stop complaining, and like you gotta, like, if you're trying to grow a business or anything like that, like everybody needs to be a salesperson, and it just breaks
Wow.
down.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so I just read that. That's one of the ones that like I prefer to read, because I can
Mhm.
highlight and take notes, stuff like that.
I
so,
need to, if I'm like trying to learn this,
Yep.
yeah,
I need to be able to underline stuff and make notes and draw a star in the corner and all that.
that's
My
right.
book that I'm reading right now, I actually have a lot of them, but the one that comes to mind is Joy at Work.
Joy at work.
Joy at Work, yeah. So which is, it starts off where it talks about, what does it mean to even have a joyful occupation, right? The default of I need to go do this, or maybe in the area that you're in, it's
Mhm.
it's maybe I'm a minor, maybe that's their default, but getting people out of the default of what
Mhm.
we think work should
Mhm.
be like. I remember I was
Mhm.
reading it, a small little passage where someone saw it at my work, and they just chuckled. Like, what Joy at Work? Okay,
Those two
Sam.
don't exist. They don't coexist.
I was like, but they can. I said, right? You hear it all the time. If you love what you do, it's not work. I
Hello.
love, my work, Rick, is on my full-time job is I teach people, right? I'm a teacher as well. I'm not an official teacher, but I train individuals to do a new hire onboarding of whatever their specialty might be.
Oh, wow.
So I've been doing that for going on 14 years now.
Wow.
So I love teaching people. That's
Yeah.
in me, where I love seeing personal and professional growth in people. Just that's what life is all about, right? Just
Great.
growing,
Great.
growing.
If you're loving it, then it's working.
That's it,
How's
right?
that?
That's it.
Hey,
Yeah, right.
absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Oak Road Diaries. We really appreciate you, and we really, really do hope that it added even the tiniest bit of value to your life. If
If you felt that the conversation resonated with you, we invite you to share it because you really never know who needs to hear this today.
You can find more tools for intentional living and the 7 pillars of transformation at thehappyatrium.com or connect with us on our socials at thehappyatrium. We'd love to see and interact with you there.
Until next time, keep tending to your inner child, one breath, one step, and one story at a time.
Take care, and we'll see you down the road.